The Nigerian Senate has launched an inquiry into alleged irregularities in the ongoing oil and gas lease renewal and alleged massive loss of government revenue. The Red Chamber, during the plenary session, gave a mandate to its Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream and Banking to investigate all issues relating to the ongoing lease renewal being undertaken by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and Department of Petroleum Resources, and to report to Senate the anomaly in the ongoing lease renewal process and identify appropriate measures to correct the said problem. This following a motion sponsored by Senator Omotayo Alasho-Adura, Ondo Central, co-sponsored by 3 other lawmakers, who noted with the concern that the Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream has since December 2017 been inundated with petitions and complaints on multiplicity of irregularities surrounding the ongoing renewal of oil and gas lease being undertaken by the minister. The lawmaker further noted with the concern that the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources is granting all manner of illegal discounts and rebates in the process of the ongoing renewal of the lease.
Senate further observes that the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and the Department of Petroleum Resources have deliberately, willfully, and brazenly decided to depart from the subsisting legal framework and due process mandated by extant law for the renewal of all leases. Senate is concerned that the irregularities being perpetrated by the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and the Department of Petroleum Resources in the ongoing lease renewal process is capable of denying government revenue in excess of $10 billion as a result of illegal discounts and rebates in the process of lease renewal. Senate is further concerned that the Department of Petroleum Resources has willfully and deliberately refused to provide the Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream with relevant information and data.
The senator further raised concern that the alleged irregularity being perpetrated by the Minister of State in the ongoing lease renewal process is culpable of denying government revenue in the excess of $10 billion as a result of illegal discounts and rebates in the process. Lawmakers who spoke on the motion suggested an all-inclusive investigation into the matter.
The issue of the leasing is something that has been in the front burner of a national discourse in the last few weeks. And what this parliament can do is, for once and for all, to bring the minister to make a clarification about the actions he has taken. $10 billion is no small amount of money. And I'm of the belief that if we can get to the root of this matter, it will also open other kind of worms in the petroleum sector. This motion opens the whole process as it is vague and very unclear. So I believe that our intervention here should be in such a way that we must do everything possible to open up the oil industry as the central focus of our Nigeria's economy.
I think the motion is well placed, but the actual is Nigeria has enough law in their statutes to take care of illegalities. This house, every day here, we come across people who have violated the systems and there's no sanction applied. As long as you don't apply sanction and no consequence, it will continue. NNPC is the bedrock of corruption in this country. We know that. And there's no question about that. We've seen many cases of that, even in public accounts. But if you continue, the renewal is the bottom line where people can make a lot of money from. But you can't continue to torture the country. And at the end of the day, the minister himself refuses to come. If you call the minister to come, must come and give a quality argument and support system that the reason why you take those actions. Because I know many people who are complaining their licenses have been revoked without due causes. Others who are not deserved have been renewed. We can't continue playing this way. Asking the House more show or commitment to this cause. Mr. President, sir, and my colleagues, I think we should call the minister here and ask a quality question for.
Ruling on the motion, the Deputy Senate President Ike Koremadu, who presided over the plenary, appealed to the regulating agencies and enforcement agencies to wake up to their responsibility in how to ensure that the rule of law, including enforcement of existing law, to ensure the right thing are done.
One of our major problems is the issue of enforcement and regulations, because we have sufficient rules, to guide us in almost all sectors. So I just want to appeal to regulatory agencies and enforcement agencies to wake up to their responsibilities in order to ensure that the correct things are done in this country, irrespective of who is involved. And I'm sure that now that we are taking up this matter, that should be a good way to start, or at least to continue to ensure that we put our people on the right path of not only transparency, but enforcement of rule of law, including enforcement of existing laws, and then regulatory agencies ensuring that the correct things are being done. Mandate the Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources upstream to investigate all issues related to the ongoing lease renewal be undertaken by the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and the Department of Petroleum Resources, and to report to the Senate the anomalies in the ongoing lease renewal process and identify appropriate measures to correct the said anomalies. Those in support of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The upper chamber concerned that the action of the minister is culpable of just changing the country and deny the federal government the appropriate revenue accruable from the renewal of the lease. From National Assembly, Abuja, Moyo Bamdele reporting. The Independent National Electoral Commission has presented certificate of return to Dr. Kayode Fayemi, the winner of the last weekend Ekiti governorship election. The National Commissioner in charge of Oyo, Ekiti, and Osun State, Prince Adedeji Shoyebi, presented Fayemi with a certificate of return at the ceremony held at the State INEC office in Ado Ekiti, the state capital. The governor-elect promised not to disappoint the people of the state who gave him the mandate. Deputy Governor-elect Otumba Bisi Egbeyemi also received the certificate of return at the event. Speaking after he was presented with the certificate, Fayemi said the people of Ekiti State will enjoy the benefit of good governance from October 16, 2018, when he takes over the reign of power. The governor-elect commended the electoral body for doing what he described as an excellent job in conducting the governorship election. The People Democratic Party has asked the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to declare its candidate Professor Olushola Kolapo Eleka as the winner of the last weekend governorship election in Ekiti State. The party, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary Kola Ologbondiyan on Wednesday, said new facts available to the National Working Committee of the party revealed that original result of the election was in favor of the party's candidate before it was allegedly altered. According to the statement, after a thorough examination of all hard facts, the NWC reconfirmed that Independent National Electoral Commission doctored the result of the election to favor the All Progressive Congress (APC). The NWC therefore called on the leadership of INEC to immediately correct the result, apologize to the people of Ekiti State, and be ready to admit their falsification before the tribunal so as to return their mandate, which was stolen at gunpoint on July 14, the party said. Former Vice President and PDP presidential aspirant Alhaji Atiku Abubakar says there's no comparison between what was obtainable under PDP government and what obtained currently under APC. Atiku said this while addressing newsmen in Maiduguri shortly after consulting with the PDP faithful in Borno State. Atiku says Nigeria is one of the poorest nations in the world, characterized with abject poverty. Given the mandate, he says he will address the issue of jobs, which have become worse since Nigeria came into being. Atiku alleged that increasing cases of criminal activities associated with herdsmen and farmers' clashes leading to loss of life and property was as a result of bad governance under the present administration, noting that unless Nigerians team up and voted against the present ruling or progressive Congress at the national, state, and local government level, the situation the country found itself will even be worse in near future.
Compare PDP years and APC years, which is better in terms of peace, in terms of security, in terms of unity, in terms of economy. We can find that PDP has performed better than APC. So, I mean, you can't compare achievements of the two parties at all.
While welcoming Atiku and entourage, various stakeholders from Borno and Yobe State pledged their support and added that majority of the people in the state are solidly behind Atiku come 2019 general election. Meanwhile, the Director General of Atiku campaign organization, Gbenga Daniel, had earlier said that former Vice President and his entourage were in Maiduguri as part of the ongoing consultation tour with the PDP stakeholders across the country. The Nigerian Minister of State for Aviation, Senator Adi Sarika, has revealed the names of the much-awaited national carrier, is Nigeria Air. Sarika also unveiled the logo of the carrier. This was done at the ongoing Farnborough International Air Show in London. According to the minister, while revealing the name, this will be a national carrier that is private sector-led and driven. It is a business and not a social service. According to him, government will not be involved in running it or deciding who runs it. The investors will have full responsibility for this. The Nigerian government will not own more than 5% of the new national carrier. He also said the government is negotiating with aircraft manufacturers and providers to provide fleet for the new national airline. Senate President Bukola Saraki and the National Chairman of the People Democratic Party, Uche Secondus, and other high-ranking members of the opposition party have met in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, in what seems as the further step towards his possible return to the PDP. Others who attended the meeting include former Jigawa State Governor and PDP Presidential hopeful Alhaji Sule Lamido, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwa, and the Deputy State counterpart Samuel Otom, Governor Abdul Fatai Ahmed of Kwara State, as well as Kola Ologbondiyan, the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. The meeting came after some of the dignitaries are taking part in the 8th-day Fida prayer for the Alhaja Aishat, mother of Alhaji Kawu Baraje, the former national leader of now defunct New PDP. Those who did not feature at the Fida but were present at the meeting included Tambuwa, Lamido, and Sekendo. No one was ready to speak to journalists on the outcome of the meeting that took place at Saraki official residence in Ilorin. The meeting lasted over 1 hour before the dignitary departed to Abuja. Saraki had on his return to Ilorin on Tuesday added that he's not in haste about the issue of his speculated plan to defect from All Progressive Congress.